The Express. After the first powerful plain manifesto, the black statement of pistons, without more fuss, but gliding like a queen, she leaves the station. Without bowing, and with restrained unconcern, she passes the houses which humbly crowd outside, the gasworks, and at last the heavy page of death printed by gravestones in the cemetery. Beyond the town there lies the open country, where, gathering speed, she acquires mystery, the luminous self-possession of ships on ocean. It is now she begins to sing, at first quite low, then loud, and at last with a jazzy madness, the song of her whistle screaming at curves, of deafening tunnels, breaks, innumerable bolts, and always light, aerial, underneath retreats the elate meter of her wheels. Steaming through metal landscape on her lines, she plunges new years of white happiness, where speed throws up strange shapes, broad curves, and parallels clean like trajectories from guns. At last, further than Edinburgh or Rome, beyond the crest of the world, she reaches night, where only a low streamline brightness of phosphorus on the tossing hills is white. Ah, like a comet through flame, she moves entranced, wrapped in her music, no bird song, no nor bough breaking with honey buds shall ever equal. The landscape near an aerodrome, more beautiful and soft than any moth, with burring furred antennae feeling its huge path through dusk. The airliner, with shut-off engines, glides over suburbs, and the sleeves set trailing tall to point the wind. Gently, broadly, she falls, scarcely disturbing charted currents of air. Lulled by descent, the travellers across sea and across feminine land indulging its easy limbs in miles of softness. Now let their eyes, trained by watching, penetrate through dusk the outskirts of this town, here where industry shows a fraying edge. Here they may see what is being done. Beyond the winking masthead light and the landing ground, they observe the outposts of work, chimneys like lank black fingers or figures frightening and mad, and squat buildings with their strange air behind trees, like women's faces shattered by grief. Here, where few houses moan with faint light behind their blinds, they remark the unhomely sense of complaint, like a dog shut out and shivering at a foreign moon. In the last sweep of love, they pass over fields behind the aerodrome, where boys play all day hacking dead grass, whose cries, like wild birds, settle upon the nearest roofs, but soon are hid under the loud city. Then, as they land, they hear the tolling bell reaching across the landscape of hysteria to where, louder than all those batteries and charcoal towers against that dying sky, religion stands, the church blocking the sun. The prisoners, far, far the least of all in want, are these, the prisoners, turned massive with their vaults and dark with dark. They raise no hands which rest upon their knees, but lean their solid eyes against the night. Dimly they feel only the furniture they use in cells. Their time is almost death. The silted flow of years on years is marked by dawns as faint as cracks on mud flats of despair. My pity moves amongst them like a breeze on walls of stone fretting for summer leaves, or like a tune on years of stone. Then, when I raise my hands to strike, it is too late. There are no chains that fall, nor visionary liquid door melted with anger. When have their lives been free from walls and dark and airs that choke, and where less prisoner to let my anger like a sun strike? If I could follow them from room to womb, to plant some hope through the black silk of the big-bellied gown, there would I win. No, no, no. It is too late for anger. Nothing prevails but pity for the grief they cannot feel. I think continually. I think continually of those who were truly great, who, from the womb, remembered the soul's history through corridors of light where the hours are suns, endless and singing, whose lovely ambition was that their lips, still touched with fire, should tell of the spirit clothed from head to foot in song, and who hoarded from the spring branches the desires falling across their bodies like blossoms. What is precious is never to forget the essential delight of the blood drawn from ageless springs, breaking through rocks in worlds before our earth. Never to deny its pleasure in the morning's simple light, nor its grave evening demand for love. Never to allow gradually the traffic to smother with noise and fog the flowering of the spirit. Near the snow, near the sun, in the highest fields, see how these names are fated by the waving grass and by the streamers of white cloud and whispers of wind in the listening sky. The names of those who in their lives fought for life, who warped their hearts the fire's centre. Born of the sun, they travelled a short while towards the sun, and left the vivid air signed with their honour. An elementary school classroom in a slum. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces. Like rootless weeds, the hair torn round their pallor. The tall girl with her weighed-down head. The paper-seeming boy with rat's eyes. The stunted, unlucky heir of twisted bones, reciting his father's gnarled disease, his lesson from his desk. At back of the dim class, one unnoted, sweet and young. His eyes live in a dream of squirrel's game, in tree room, other than this. On sour cream walls, donations, Shakespeare's head, cloudless at dawn, civilized dome, riding all cities, belled Flare Tyrolese valley, open-handed map awarding the world its world. And yet, for these children, these windows, not this world, our world, where all their futures painted with a fog, a narrow street sealed in with a lead sky, far, far from rivers, capes, and stars of words. Surely, Shakespeare is wicked, the map a bad example, with ships and sun and love tempting them to steal, for lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes from fog to endless night. On their slag heap, these children wear skins peeped through by bones, and spectacles of steel with mended glass, like bottle bits on stones. All of their time and space a foggy slum, so blot their maps with slums as big as doom. Unless governor, teacher, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs break, oh break open, till they break the town, and show the children to green fields, and make their world run azure on gold sands, and let their tongues run naked into books, the white and green leaves open history theirs, whose language is the sun.